Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we have an important news story out of the state of Missouri where the Republican Governor Mike Kehoe has called a special session to redistrict Missouri's congressional map. Now Kehoe is bringing back lawmakers to redraw the state's congressional districts. The special session is scheduled to begin on Wednesday, September 3rd at noon. The Missouri GOP-backed redistricting plan would redraw the 5th congressional district currently held by Kansas City Democrat Representative Emanuel Cleaver in an effort to make it more Republican-leaning. Missouri's 8 seats are held by 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats, including Cleaver. The new map would make it easier for the GOP to extend their delegation by 1, leaving only 1 Democrat in the proposed 7-to-1 district setup. Redistricting, the process of drawing the borders of districts for which a state's elected official is required once at the start of every new U.S. Census decade cycle. In the process, states must ensure that districts have populations as equal as possible when they are redrawn. Although redistricting typically only occurs once a decade, some states may revisit their maps mid-decade if political leaders call for a special legislative session on the matter. Kehoe's call for a special session comes hours after Texas Governor Greg Abbott has officially signed new maps into law for Texas. U.S. President Donald Trump has recently urged Republican-led states, including Texas and Missouri, to advance redistricting efforts in a broader national push to redraw political maps for the 2026 U.S. House elections. Missouri's special session will also focus on reforming the state's initiative petition process, something conservatives have long pushed for. The extraordinary session is expected to overlap the September 10th veto session that is already scheduled. The governor said, quote, "Today I'm calling on the General Assembly to take action on congressional redistricting initiative petition to reform to ensure our districts and Constitution truly put Missouri values first," said Kehoe on a Friday news release. "This is about clarity for voters and ownership of our future, and I hope the legislature will work together to pass our Missouri First map and critically needed IP reform." Many Missouri elected officials representing the Democratic Party opposed Kehoe's request for a special session. This move represents an alarming abuse of power and a blatant attempt to rig the electoral map for partisan gain, said Russ Carnahan, the chairman of the Missouri Democratic Party, via a news release. Rather than focusing on the pressing needs of Missourians, Republican leaders are bowing down to Washington politicians, playing political games and working behind closed doors to rig the rules in their favor because they are afraid of voter backlash in the midterm election from their unpopular agenda benefiting billionaires at the expense of working families. Missourians deserve better from the elected officials pushing for these changes. Missouri Representative Emanuel Cleaver of the 5th District, whose seat will likely be targeted in the redistricting plans, shared the following statement, saying, "I will not surrender the voices of the people who entrusted me to fight for them. The people of the 5th District and I will fight relentlessly to ensure Missouri never becomes an anti-democratic state, where politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their representatives. In the courts and at the ballot box, we will demand the rule of law is upheld, our voices are heard, and democracy prevails." So this is obviously very big news for redistricting for the House in 2026. The Republicans in 2024 won 220 House seats, Democrats won 215. The magic number in the House side of things is 218, so you need 218 members of the House to hold a majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. So the Republicans hold about a 3-seat majority in the House. Now, based on the early polling for 2026, the generic congressional vote, Democrats currently have a lead of roughly 3.1% over the Republicans. So Democrats at plus 3 points. Just to show you what it would look like, the Republicans won nationwide here by, let me just get the accurate number for you. The Republicans won 50.6 to 47.8. So by about 2.8%. So doing a shift here, going 2.8 plus an additional 3 would be roughly a 5.8% shift towards the Democrats. Now, it doesn't always work out entirely this way, but we are going to shift the House map from 2024 towards the Democrats by about 5.8%, just to show you what it would look like. If it played out where everything being equal, Democrats would get up to 231 House seats, Republicans would hold 204 based on the election results from 2024. Now, obviously, the Democrats would take the House, the Republicans would lose it by a very large margin. Now, for what the Republicans are trying to do, they're trying to redraw a lot of House maps in Republican states to stop that from happening. And one of them being, very importantly, the state of Missouri, where Missouri currently holds 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats, on the House level voting 59 to 38. Now, at the presidential level, Missouri voted for Donald Trump 58.5% to Kamala Harris's 40.08%. So, an 18% win for Trump, a safe Republican win. Now, at the House level, even though the Republicans hold a majority of 6-2, a very large majority, they're trying to get another House seat to stop the Democrats from holding the House after the 2026 elections. And the seat they're targeting is this district, Missouri 5 in Cleveland, which is right around the border of Kansas City. The way the map is currently drawn is this is a district that was Democrat plus 24 points in 2024. The other district, Missouri 1, which is where St. Louis is, was Democrat plus 57.6. And I think it's very interesting they went with this district because based on the way the map was going to be redrawn, depending on how they do it, it was very clear Republicans had a much better chance of drawing out the Kansas City district than they did with Missouri 1, the St. Louis district, based on how Democratic of an area it is. It should also be worth noting the current district, or the current map right now, has Missouri 2 with the Republican Wagner, which was one of the more competitive districts in the state of Missouri in 2024. This district is only listed at Republican plus 4 after the Cook Political Voting Index map. So not only will it be interesting to see how this map changes, but also does the Missouri 2nd District become more or less Republican in 2026 will also be something important to watch for as well. But with this, we can change the margins here, and we can see that Republicans, based on the new map, in all likelihood, are going to be flipping the 5th District. And if they do, this will give the Democrats 1 House seat in Missouri, Republicans 7. And that brings the overall House results based on 2024 up to the Republicans at 221, Democrats are at 214. Now, it should be worth noting, of course, as well, that Texas has recently had some changes on its House map as well. You see Democratic areas like with Al Green's district going red and a lot of blue areas going red as well. So essentially, Republicans could be gaining 5 extra House seats as well from 2024. So it's going to be very interesting to watch how this all plays out. Now, these districts in Texas are going to play a very large role. California is going to play a large role as well, as these districts will also be redistricting. I think for right now, it's really too early to say how exactly this is all going to play out for 2026, as we're still waiting to see which states redistrict. We now know Texas will be redistricting. Missouri looks like it's going to be redistricting as well. The California referendum, they have to pass a referendum in November to allow the redistricting to happen in the state. So far, the early polling shows that that is likely to pass, roughly about a 20-point lead for people in California being in favor of redistricting than not being in favor. So it looks like California will redistrict, and then from there, we're also watching Indiana, Ohio, Florida, Democratic states in Maryland. We're looking at New York as well. Redistricting is going to be a lot going on, a lot of really crazy stuff to keep up with for 2026. So at this current point in time, it's really hard to keep up with because there's a lot going on. But basically, which party controls the House of Representatives at this current point in time for 2026 is really too early to say, as a lot of the redistricting news is going on. I think the truth is, in the matter though, this likely benefits the Republicans' chances at keeping the House in 2026. Otherwise, there'd be really no reason for them to be doing this. Republicans nationally probably feel they're going to lose the House, so they're redistricting these maps to try and give them the best chance possible at holding it. Now, what the Democrats are doing in states like California, Maryland, and New York are they're trying to fight back and redistrict out as many Republicans as possible to try and take away the gains that Republicans are going to make from Texas, Missouri, Florida, Indiana, and Ohio, and other Republican states when they do try and redistrict their maps. Democrats are trying to counteract those as much as possible in this race. So this is going to be very interesting to watch for 2026. Right now, the House majority is still pretty much 50-50 until we have more information about how the map ends up looking. Democrats, I do think, are still slightly favored to take the House in 2026, but this is certainly very interesting to watch for how this all will play out. But that's the latest news out of the state of Missouri. Especially if you're from the state of Missouri, make sure to leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts about this and what this is all going on at this current point in time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts. I always check out all the comments, so make sure to do that. Also, make sure to hit like and subscribe as I post multiple videos every day you're not going to want to miss. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.